My objectives are becoming convoluted. Find remaining castle clue. Get 500. Was it 400G? It says 500G here. I think I miswrote that. Get the gold for the tent. Try to take a telescope in the planetarium. Try to take the crown into the throne room. Day 58. Dig at the grill. Dig at the laundry machine. Archives cabinet. Monk blessing antechamber. What is that? Oh, because I wanted to see if the antechamber does something weird if you take the monk blessing to it. Where's my pen? I forgot to actually grab my stuff. Whatever's going on with the security grotto / screen thing. Well, at this time we know that it's the security screens, not the. Let me correct some notes here. Security screens clue. The Baron's bafflers. 20 dead ends. We don't really care about that anymore. A lot. My to-do list text file is expansive. Yeah, we got our 8 trophies. I don't have to worry about any more trophies necessarily. There might still be a reason to do that, but at the very least, the tent was that. When I started setting out to do trophies, I didn't remember that it was 8, but then once I got there again, it's like, oh, it's unlocked by 8. Okay. We don't necessarily need all of them, and there are a lot. Does that lighting make sense? It doesn't, does it? The light is coming through the... Yeah. There's no angle where the light would actually come through that gazebo-y looking top bit and land there. That wouldn't be open. Where's that part? Does any of... That shadow is supposed to be that part? That line of sight doesn't even slightly work. This building appears to just have a fake shadow. That's interesting. I wonder if it's tied to the fact that, like, the game lets you change the building. I don't know. I don't know if the roof up there changes, particularly with based on what you're doing in there. Loose steps instead of diamonds. 2 special items, trading post. I might just go for the tool shed for the head start on items, because we're trying to get a shovel for digging. Yeah, I don't know if I want to keep running back here to check. If we're going to make a lot of money, we need to get a lot of stuff quickly. So I do want the... Where's the second one? There it is. The sledgehammer. I want the lucky rabbit's foot and the purse as fast as possible. Because I want to multiply all the money I make, but I probably have to get that, then put it in the coat check. Which isn't an amazing strategy either, because then I don't know if I'll be able to draw the coat check to get it out in the next run either. So it's just... I don't really know how to get that much money, reliably. The freezer's more reliable, but only in that if I'm confronted with the freezer as an option, it will have... In the moment I choose it, I will know what the results will be. Because I'll pick it, and my current money will be frozen. But you want to get the freezer late in the run... And, you don't know if that'll actually work out in a lucky way or not. Yeah, we're trying to get items as fast as possible. Dice. And hey, shovel. Okay, so if nothing else, let's make the grill and laundry machines exist so I can try digging there. I don't know what you do with the cabinet. There's an archives cabinet thing, but I'm like, I need a key, right? To open a cabinet. get the key here because I don't have any keys. Maybe you find that specific cabinet and walk up to it and you can just open it. Or maybe you get the prompt to use the key. This game does hide prompts. When it really wants you to do something, like when a secondary item is going to activate in a room, it like pops out and glow and like really calls attention to itself. It's like, look at me. And in moments like that, you get a lot of access to that thing. But did you get the dice now, maybe? But in other moments, like when you can dig in secret spots on the floor, it like hides the prompt until right when you're perfectly looking at it, or maybe even doesn't show the prompt until a split second while you're clicking on it already. Like you have to maybe find it without knowing it's there. Because I think I didn't get a prompt when I went and accidentally broke the vase in the front hallway. Not super helpful. Let's see, the observatory could help. We're also about to hit 50. Apple, key, gems, diamond, step, other thing. So many. There's the four-way door thing. That combined with skull makes for good dead ends, but right now it's not amazing. I would have liked to have drawn the shelter today because I'm intentionally going to put the do we need to? I don't know. One of my goals is the archives, and the downside of the archives is that you lose one of your draws. You can't see what it is, and that's scary. I mostly want dead ends. I want to draw the attic for maximum item variety, and then I want like the trove and the I want the trove and the vault for the money that's in there. I don't think money laundering is gonna help me really. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of four-way doors I'm trying to draw. Only the archives counts, and even that one I might skip for a while because I can't. The other options have the other ones clues I discovered were like X marks the spot here, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to dig here. That's what X means. But pointing in a cabinet, I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. I've opened a few cabinets, but only by having a key for them, so that clue may have hinted where I use a key that I haven't found yet, maybe? Do I draw the commissary or the conservatory? The laundry room's one of my goals. I should just draw it. It's a weirdly early time to have the laundry room, but let's see. It was this one, isn't it? A file cabinet key. Likely opens a drawer somewhere on the estate. Any clues? Okay, I guess I have a reason to draw the archives now, because that room's full of filing cabinets, and maybe that's what opens. Didn't I open... Was there a clue last time? How did I do this before? I think I got a filing cabinet before, and I went into the foundation and opened up that one secret minor cabinet or something, didn't I? And it gave me the weird lore about numbers that I don't really know what to do with. Was there a clue at the time indicating to go there? Let's see. Switch your gems. Yeah, the main thing I would do here is switch gems with keys if that comes in handy, but I don't want to change out my money because my goal is to get a lot of money, and you never get a number of keys or gems that's comparable. So there's no universe where I'd like, oh, I know how to get more money. I'll switch it with my gems because I have so many gems. I'm a little worried about the telescope thingy because I'm like, oh, here's an idea. Let's test this out. And then, for all I know, I'll just never see the telescope again. Because, like, I feel like I never saw the telescope ever for, like, the first 50 hours of playing this game or something. It's a bad orientation, but I should summon the gift shop because it's one of my goals. I can also verify the number. Yeah, it was 400. I did correctly remember that my notes are wrong and it's not 500. Okay. That's good to know. So my goal is to get here with a bunch of money. It's a good thing. So I did summon it, and so now I don't have to worry about it not showing up if I do get the money. Courtyard lets me split the layout up a bit more. And also it frequently has one of the 3 outdoor items. The sledgehammer, the metal detector, or the shovel. Now I have all 3 two-handed weapons. I do like having all 3 of those on hand. I distinctly feel like I'm missing something whenever I don't have them. That doesn't really apply to that many other items. I can kind of take or leave all of them usually, but if I don't have these 3 two-handed items, I feel like I'm distinctly missing an ability at the time. Drawing room will give me the best coverage. My goal is always to fill every single tile every single time. Even though we've already got the achievement and there's not really a specific value in getting exactly all of them. It's just about getting as much of your deck onto the game board as possible. Both because it gives you the highest chance of seeing everything you might want to be able to use, but also because getting stuff out of the way that is reducing the chance of you getting the thing that you actually want to get. That is why the Chamber of Mirrors thingy is so disastrous. It's because it resets your deck, basically, by duplicating everything back into it. You're like, no! So while it enables some beautiful chaos that might have been helpful in some contexts, I think it mostly just fucks my runs over. And the main appeal is just being able to duplicate certain rooms in the cabinet that it has. And even that is dubious. Like, some of the rooms I've duplicated, I don't know, it is... having 2 dens is kind of nice because it gives you 2 easy, free spread rooms that help my layout. Having 2 observatories is okay because it gives me more stars and lets me trigger a bunch of effects. But every time you duplicate cards in your deck, you are diluting things, and it's getting harder to get specific things you might want. Ew. I would like to place these rooms, but for the sake of my layout, I really want to draw a dead end. So let's do the free redraw and hope a dead end spawns. There we go. The workshop's also tempting. But I'm trying to have a healthy layout, so please put dead ends in the dead end. Otherwise I'm going to have fewer doorways later in my deck and won't be able to navigate well. And now I draw dead ends, of course. And a parlor. Let's redraw. A den is nice, because my layout's not amazing over here. It's nice that my workshop is common now, because previously I would have been really stressing over that. Because I'd be like, no, but if I don't play the workshop now, I might never draw it again. And that would stress me out. But nowadays it's common. Also, nowadays we don't need it, so I made it nice and common right after the period where we need it. Now it's like a fun little silly thing that I get to craft fun items whenever I want to, after the part of the game where it was an active chokehold. It was a throttle on my progress. I'm not thinking of the right terms for what I mean to say, but whatever. Low and unlocked. Password accepted. But at what cost? Alright. Laboratory, see if we can maybe do a money experiment. I don't remember if any of them generate money. I also might have not... Let's see, packet management maybe? Probably overdue to check these again. I wish that they would keep the ones you highlighted last time highlighted so you didn't have to do it from scratch again. Security door. 2 or more gems is a nice common one. Find trash digging. View your map. An upgraded floor plan of any kind is just so nebulous, but we do have more and more of them, I guess. I kind of haven't been doing the antechamber one. I keep not picking it when it comes up, so maybe I don't like that one ultimately. Red room is kind of common. I don't know what rooms have fireplaces. The den does, but I usually have placed that. I often have placed both dens before I even draw an experiment. 40 seconds of chaotic drafting. Maybe it's fun to have that as an option sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Immediately sucks because it only happens once. Unlocking 3 chests is like kind of neat. It depends on whether or not you'll find 3 more chests, but it's like somewhat reliable. I guess Apple's kind of there as a Hail Mary. Alright, so 1 gold to your allowance, obviously. Stock your pantry with fruit. So I guess you just keep spamming fruit. Yeah, in the pantry. Lose 10 steps and gain 20 gold. Stressful. We might need the ability to get the gold. Gain a star. Set your dice to 2. Add 3 aquariums to today's draft pool is funny. Lose half your steps, gain 4. That's terrifying. Lockpicking skill. Unseal a random antechamber door. Lower the reservoir by 1. That's already 8. Add a chest to the entrance hall is always funny. Set your steps to 40. That can be a run saver. Gain 1 key for every 2 hallways in your house. No. Small chest in the entrance hall can be fun, but maybe a bit silly to add to everything else here. Do I ever actually want to do an aquarium run ever again? It is very funny, but kind of a run ruiner. I maybe would have wanted to... I maybe should have considered this a bit more, though. I don't know. So I just upgraded my aquarium so that it does electricity. Which is helpful in some ways, but... admittedly, if you if you had add 3 aquariums to today's draft pool, and your aquariums added 1 star to your star counter, then that would be certainly one way of getting caught up on stars every other run, is just activate an aquarium run and then spam aquariums and then just reel in like 20 stars in one run. That would be pretty powerful for that exact effect. But that's not the aquarium I went with. I do feel like what I went with will be helpful for incidentally being able to get more powered outcomes every now and then, but it is kind of a niche thing now that we're no longer trying to hunt that specific outcome. I just don't know how good lockpicking skill is to begin with. Guess I'll leave all of these. I do want to leave dirt on the driveway as an option just because I haven't done that for a run yet, and I feel like I should just eventually do it at least. It's probably kind of pointless. It's probably just the shovel equivalent of the lockboxes in the front. And lockboxes are much better than shovel spots because they don't give you nothing. Unseal antechamber door. Yeah, let's lower the reservoir by 1 level. Whenever I spend 2 more gems? Or trash while digging? time you view your map. I could save that for the end and spam it, but it's only effective if I actually get a bunch of steps and don't just lose them all. It's a gamble, but it has the chance of having the highest effect. So I think I'm gonna save it for that then. We'll see how effective I am at getting more steps. It's a gamble. One of my goals is to get 400 gold. I was definitely hoping for an effect that would give me gold, like the lose steps one. Even though that might be hard to make work that way. Oops. No, I think I'm gonna do the gems one because I don't remote terminal access. It does say only connected to one offline terminal per day. I didn't imagine that. I want to do this one, I think, because do 2 gems, reservoir. There we go. I want to guarantee it happening, and it'll definitely happen here. And I don't even necessarily need a massive amount of it happening. I just need less water in the system so I can more comfortably choose which stuff has water and which stuff doesn't have water. This is not a live update. The pool is not... I think the pool's empty still right now, isn't it? That's just inaccurate, I believe. We want the reservoir down so that I can maybe be free to explore the bottom of the reservoir, but also have access to other water. I wonder if you can fully drain the water out of the entire system permanently via that mechanic. That would be a problem because you wouldn't be able to access one of the secrets of the reservoir area, potentially. Seems like a bit of a problem. Alright, fun bit of connections, but let's go back down. But yeah, what was the top process I had a second ago? I don't want to do the spam it to lose all my steps at the end of the run strategy because I don't know how many steps I'll have, and I'm not trying to get steps this run. I need the ones I need to survive, but particularly I don't really want to buy food this run. I'm trying not to spend money so that I can then try to reach 400. As part of my goal of trying to reach 400, we want to accomplish as much money as possible and not spend anything, hopefully. So we'll see what the commissary ends up having, but I'll probably mostly avoid that too. Hello. The way that I summon rooms while I'm talking about them sometimes. Mostly gems. Wow, just gems and keys and bananas. No tools, because I guess I already bought the ones that it usually presents. I would like to not buy any of these. I might need to buy gems. But we'll see if I can make it for now. So I dug at the laundry machine. As far as where to... Oop, the conference room's not bad. As far as where to use the cabinet key I have found, which has no description on it? Yeah. Yeah. You might use it in the archives, and you might use it underground. If I check all the cabinets down there. We don't have a security card, right? Nope, so I need to get the power thing so I can disable that. Oof. I keep summoning stuff right when I mention it, but this would be disastrous for my layout in that it's closing off all these nice branching paths that I established here, but I do have 3 doors over there on the left, so it's unlikely to all get closed off over there. I probably should summon it and then continue out the right side. It is what it is, I guess. Lost and found. Oof. Sledgehammer, magnifying glass, shovel, filing cabinet, metal detector. If I lose the filing cabinet key, then I can't check where it goes. And if I lose the shovel, I can't dig up the other hole. Everything else wouldn't be the end of the world, but would suck. But the two rare items could be the purse or the rabbit's foot or both. So, oof. Yeah, I don't want to place this for a number of reasons. What gets me is that it's every time. It's not even like on the surface of it, you're like, oh, it's a 1-for-2 trade. Lose one item that might not even be that good, but gain 2 rare items. Ooh. But you lose an item every time you walk in this room. So my return trip will make me lose an item again if I don't make it, if I don't connect over to here. It's just kind of a terrifying room. The patio is the only one that's turning left, but it'll just spread a gem in the other place that I already have. That sucks. But wait, no, that's the grill. Okay, I want to play this room regardless, just so we don't miss it. Hey, like a bonus gem. Oop. Should be a spot like right here. There it is. Well, it's another file cabinet key. Okay. So I have a few reasons to play the archives, which is a bit upsetting because the archives feels like a run-ruining room. It's my single most avoided room. Probably not literally, because I do have the shelter or the shield here and there, which lets me place it without having an effect. And in which case I'm like, cool, I'm a branching room. It's brutal that you just dig up a filing cabinet key, and the key doesn't tell you anything. You know, it's a filing cabinet key. It goes to a filing cabinet. Cool. Which one? In the entire game? Oh, you know. The one. And then, since it's this game, when you end your run, you lose it. I think I should do the spare green room to go north more, because I have a door over here that goes west anyway. Might as well just accept that. The watering can. I was about to not continue this direction and continue going in the other directions, but I just picked that up earlier than later. Oof. Experimenting with the planetarium is one of my goals. This is an awkward use of the passageway because one of the doors is blocked. I think I'll go with the planetarium. I wish this room at least spawned something in it. I think it basically never does, and its effect is only at the end of the day. So, in many runs I won't even activate it because I will prefer the security card over 2 stars. Shooting north a little rapidly here, but okay. The reservoir has been lowered. I did it again. I dug. I keep falling for that. I'll dig right when the watering can or the treasure map is coming onto the screen, and then you won't get to use the effect. It's very annoying. It's so annoying that you can't control items coming up on the left side of the screen. Electric eel aquarium! I want the attic, but this lets this part of the map open up and not be a really awkward long dead end that doesn't work at all. And I get to use my watering can instead of not using my watering can. Oh, there's the electric thing vents. I wonder if this room works when the water is gone, or if the electric eel effect is disabled right now. There are ducts now, but like, are they working? Is that the working color? I think when they're not working, they're not even lit up. But I'm like, there's no electric eels in here. I've ruined everything. I think this is the archives. I don't think this is the underground mine. But it's also only one filing cabinet. And I have 2 filing cabinet keys. Do they go to the same filing cabinet? Different drawers? You almost never open multiple drawers at the same filing cabinet in a video game because they visually block each other. And it just makes it difficult to interact with. And that's just like not good gameplay feel, usually. These are underwhelming, and I should probably draw this a few times. See what kind of crazy options I might get. I don't currently care about any of these types of rooms. The attic. At this point, I'm not... Enough of this is filled in that I don't particularly think I'm going to be able to reach my goal financially, unfortunately. We've made, like, no money so far. So we're kind of just hoping to draw the coat rack. Hey, the purse. I want the purse. I want the rabbit's foot. There's that again. Treasure map. That actually helps. Oh, and it's the next room over. I want the purse, the rabbit's foot, the workshop, and the coat check, because then I can make the super purse and then store it for later. But then that becomes just a ticking thing of like, when will I ever draw the coat check again? And if I do, then maybe that's when I finally get to do the money run. I might just have to put the 400 gold goal on the back burner until I happen to draw a coat check early in a run and get hit with my super purse again. And until then, it's just like, well, we'll wait. At some point, the chance will show up. The kennel, the bedroom. The cloister arena lowers my reservoir and opens up this layout a lot up here. Because all of those branches are uncovered right now. And I'm all out of the 3 gems from the watering can. The watering can's nice. It's just, here's an even more gem economy in the game that keeps giving you more gem economy. Like, we hit a point where the watering can happens, and the game keeps hitting me with the constellation that gives you the gem flowers. Between those couple of things, it's like, well, shit. Gems are so common now. Remember when it was a struggle? It's why I'm not really in a hurry to do the challenge runs of beating the game in your first hour or your first day and so on, because I'm like, man, it's gonna suck so much to try to do those without any of these many systems that make gems common. There's so many ways that gems are common now that they were not before. So you'd be going back to an early game where you're like back to really struggling to even place your rooms and everything. It's easy to underestimate just how much harder the game was at the beginning. It contains 8 gems! Well, it's a good thing I didn't buy the gems from the commissary, but that sucks. The time that I specifically say my goal is to get coins and it gives me gems. I guess it is my bad that I put the gem room here, so maybe now that we know that getting the treasure map to dig up the bedroom makes the bedroom give you a specific thing, and we know that the changes now, I guess we can conclude that what type of room you spawn affects the reward. So the room that gives you 3 gems, giving you 8 gems as a reward for the treasure, that correlates. That doesn't mean I just got 11 gems. And it makes me once again really wish you could sell gems for money. Trading them 1 for 1 is not the same thing. That's a terrible value. Because even when you have a lot of gems, you probably have more money than gems. But I'm just like, please. I really wish I could sell the gems for some kind of reasonable amount of money, even if it required a specific and rare room. Let's see, these are open now. Throne room is the best option out of these, but it does cost a lot of gems, but also I don't care anymore, I guess, about gems. So I guess why not? It lowers the reservoir again. What are you beeping about? Oh. 1 coin on the floor. Exciting. I'm about to make my way all the way over to the West Hall, from here. I don't want the showroom because I'm trying to save up money. That's just distinctly unhelpful. The parlor gives me gems, which, who cares? I have 19 gems. I think I just want to redraw. We're trying to actually get stuff at some point here. Ew. But then the observatory breaks my layout. That means there's a whole divot over here where nothing connects. The lost and found kind of goes the right way, but I don't want to deal with its effects. Unless I think I have more garbage. No, I have 2 cabinets I can lose. I don't want to lose 2 cabinets. Cabinet keys. This could be important. More dice, but facing the wrong way. I guess I'll take the classroom for the free reroll. Apple. Running out of keys. It's facing the wrong way, though. Don't break my layout, man. I don't know, maybe I think I can get there safely from over there. Maybe the 2 keys are worth it. I'm running out of them. The reservoir has been lowered. The key card! It's trash! Damn it. Alright. This room basically gave me 1 key. We don't need the key card. Brutal. I guess I'll pull the lever for funsies. It saves me the trip of going downstairs. But I don't think I'm even gonna connect to this chamber. I've already blocked off 2 of the doors and just blatantly didn't care at the time. Just because what it was giving me at the time was a better option. Showroom, I don't want this run. Dark room isn't very helpful because it just points to the West Wing, where the West Wing Hall's already going, compared to the observatory going down. But I don't need the observatory either. It's not going to give me that much money. I probably want to redraw. We do have a conference room, so I do want the office. The office will let me spread gold, but it'll all be in the conference room, and maybe I hold out for the off chance that I get the special wallet. Spread gold now. Because if I successfully draw the wallet, or craft it, then I can pick up the gold at that point to double it all. But it probably still won't be very much money. Not compared to the 400 we're going for. Still down to 2 keys. Pantry never really gives you money. Bunk room is kind of useless. Hallway doors being unlocked is okay, but I've placed a lot of them already. I guess it means that if I get the super hallway, it'll be safe, because all the doors will be preemptively unlocked. Dovecoat. These just kind of suck. Dark room is not helpful, it cuts off that whole direction. Trophy room's facing the wrong way. The vestibule's fine. It means the two sides of my layout are finally connected, and I guess it's I lock a door effect should be disabled now. Because all hallways have to be unlocked. Okay. The archives is one of my goals. Just gotta suffer it. Alright, do any of you, like, open? You are all listed as locked. Hello. Peace! Terms of surrender have been accepted. March 10th, 1886. Reddington Herald. The red flags flying over the capital was a bittersweet sight of comfort for many of this realm's war-weary citizens. After 22 years, peace had come at last. We, the staff of Reddington Herald, join all the citizens of Reddington in welcoming this new era of peace and formally retract and disavow all prior printed support of House Desolates. On one hand, it would be cool if it's like, oh, we were forced to support that government because, you know, tyranny or whatever. So it's like, thank God it's over. But it just as easily reads as like, oh God, oh fuck, these people took over after the war. Yeah, we love them. Everything else that we said before, we were just joshing you. Please don't attack us. This game took like 8 years to make, so it wasn't necessarily written with the context, but like knowing that, like, for example, right now, American media corporations are currently bowing to the Trump presidency because they are actively being attacked is a bit of a thing. Like, Trump does coerce speech in these realms by not only publicly shaming all of these things and acting like they're all frauds whenever he talks to them and making a point to say that every single time so that it's in every clip, but behind the scenes is actually attacking the companies themselves on several fronts in a way that coerces speech and infringes on that, and it's a serious problem being a media company that has any interest in speaking truth to power, because they have the power. That's the problem with the truth. Isn't that strong? Truth hasn't been worth shit for ages, but power, oh, that spends real well, actually. So it's been fucking depressing. So I read that sentence and I'm like, that's the fact that your first paragraph is about disavowing any previous things you might have said sounds like you being terrified of what's going to happen to the people that work there now that the regime has changed. And given that our own mother is permanently in hiding and we'll never see her again, probably, unless that's the true ending or something, because of said government, I'm inclined to think that's what's going on. Royals flee in defeat. For shame. Oh, you cowardly coattails. In our most trying hour we clung, and in yours you ran. In his first public address since the end of the war, the victorious leader of the Fen army, General Teskin, did not express much sympathy for his fallen enemy. The royal family's departure was not unexpected, as rumors of their plans to flee to the neighboring realm of Raya had been circulating even before war's end. However, the suddenness of their departure has left many of their supporters feeling abandoned. It is a disgrace, a betrayal of the people they swore to protect. They have fled to foreign lands seeking comfort and refuge while their people suffer and struggle to rebuild. This is not the kind of leadership we need. We need leaders who will stand with us in times of adversity, who will not abandon us when we are afraid and at our most vulnerable. That's right. The people that used to rule did flee, so they're presumably still alive in Araya, which points to some interesting connections here with because we know that our mother's mother was from that land. That's why there's these chances to try to interpret that language and so on, and why there's so much of that stuff coming up everywhere, is they want us to understand that language that our uncle wants us to understand that language is part of our inheriting of this place. That's why the puzzles are designed in such a way. And that might be where our mother is, but it is where the royal family fled to, and they're all fighting to restore that, which, you know, ideologically I'm not particularly in favor of any royal family existing, really, but it does sound like whatever's going on here has been a nightmare. It would be kind of funny, though, if actually the regime change is great and it's good for everybody, and it's just our particular family is just so royal. They're so loyalist to the royalists that they just are dead set on restoring that the royal family just out of loyalty, and maybe they're not even ideologically really in the right or anything. I don't think there's been a lot of specific politics in this game, if I remember correctly, beyond just the vibes, essentially, because it is a mixed thing. Like, it's like you have like the Red Prince and so on. There's a lot of dissonance that happens there, where it's like, okay, the Red Prince, that's red, and so you expect it to, you're kind of expecting a McCarthyism thing to happen here, the Red Scare and so on. But then the story is from the perspective of the red being bad. So, but we do have a family that are fleeing from political persecution, which you expect them to be represented by red, but they're represented by blue, and it gets like messy and confusing. Although, like, in our political system, red is Republican and blue is Democrat, and that tracks on some level potentially, but I don't think that's what they're going for necessarily. I used red as a symbol of a political wave in my own thing, but we, like, each of us are using these things to mean different things on a different level. Because I also used it to mean something that a political turnover of sorts, and I also did not mean communism. So it is messy trying to unpack all the different directions the narrative goes in there, or the ways that the meanings these symbols can take when you're not given just concrete politics constantly. There might be enough to piece it together somewhere in here that I might be forgetting some, because obviously I am playing a 200-hour puzzle game that happens to have lore and things sprinkled throughout it, and that stuff does inform some of the puzzles, but, you know, it's just not what I'm thinking about most of the time, because that's not what the physical game is. So apologies if I'm forgetting anything significant here and there, because it just happens sometimes. I compare it a bit to, like, Elden Ring, where it's like, I'm sorry I failed to piece together the story of Elden Ring. It's just that while there was lore happening throughout it and item descriptions, it's hard to piece those together when 90% of the game is me just walking around a silent field and fighting a bunch of monsters and doing boss fights and trying to fight one boss fight for 20 hours and so on. And, like, that most of your experience is not narrative related, so it's hard to keep it in mind. It's like watching a TV show where the plot only happens every 10th episode, and the rest is just like watching someone survive. like if The Last of Us took place in real time, so you were just watching, like, a whole season would be just one day, and so it's just like all the like, here's the part where they waited around a long time to see if any noise would happen. Here's the part where they scavenged for food for 3 hours. That's 3 episodes. That's what video games are like when they deliver their plots sometimes. Whereas walking simulators can be very efficient because they're often like 3 to 5 hours long, and they're mostly narrative, so you're more likely to keep it all in mind. Anyway, I was just discussing that it does feel kind of funny that, like, given that I'm not super crazy about royals in most contexts, it would be funny for the reveal at the end of this to be like, wait, hang on a minute. I actually don't like the politics of all the protagonist people that we're like, the narrative poises you to cheer for certain people and and that shows you their tragic story, but what if they're just wrong? Like, what if everything about that stood for was just wrong? It would be funny to realize that. Which I guess is functionally what it's like to, like, if this game does have leftist leanings, for example, that would be what it's like to play this game if you just lean right, for example, and you'd be like, wait, no, I was helping the communists this whole time. They're not communists, they're royals, but I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. It is a disgrace, a betrayal of the people they swore to protect. They have fled to foreign lands seeking comfort and refuge while their people suffer and struggle to rebuild. This is not the kind of leadership we need. We need leaders who will stand with us in times of adversity, who will not abandon us when we are afraid and at our most vulnerable. That's a stupid quote. In a vacuum, it's correct. If you just, leaders that abandon you when you need help and so on is bad, obviously. It's bad when your leadership is like spending half of their year hanging out and golfing instead of like actually being invested in the American people, for example, which is what most of them do. But this was literally them losing a war and the enemies were storming the capital to kill them. Them fleeing when they're about to get murdered isn't that weird. That's not really even that cowardly, and it's definitely not like it doesn't really feel like a failure of leadership. Like, if they thought that they could fight back and not get beheaded or whatnot, they would have stayed. Obviously. Because they wanted to be the leaders of they were the royals. Fleeing because you're about to get murdered is a normal thing to do, actually. And at that point, if things have crumbled that much where that's a reasonable thing that's going to happen to you, you're not really the leader of that country anymore. It's already, that window's already passed, so that's just a apples and oranges thing. This is not what these words mean in this context. December 9th, 1924. Desolate's princess born in exile. In the 4 decades since the end of the war, little news has reached our news desk regarding the former royals, whose life in exile has remained a quiet source of speculation and mystery. Prince Rolf, the grandson of Desolates IV, broke the silence on Tuesday when he announced the birth of his daughter, the Princess Caitlin Jeari, who, in keeping with the Jaran tradition, was endowed with her mother's surnames. How does this timeline work out? Is somebody in the narrative this princess? Are we supposed to think something like that? I wonder. Like, do we know who this character is? And is there a connection I need to make somewhere else about this? Close supporters of the exiled family are, of course, concerned, as this public announcement displays a notable shift in conduct for the royals and sets the stage for the family to exit private life and return once again to the public sphere, a change that would undoubtedly stir up long-buried allegiances and unrest in our realm. January 11th, 1929. 5 years later. I guess basically 4 years later. Tensions rise on southern border. The Crown's recent decision to dismantle the realm's remaining railways has caused increasing tensions with our southern neighbor Araya, who has for many generations relied on our realm's trail tracks for northern passage to Arch Ares. The ensuing round of trade negotiations with Araya, which were conducted with reckless care and little diplomacy, have, to the surprise of no one, ended in an impasse. Early reports have alluded that, in addition to their other demands, the Crown has requested that the asylum granted to the former House of Desolates be revoked. They want them to not grant asylum to Desolates anymore, meaning that they'd be at risk of being... They'd have to flee to another country or maybe be executed and hunted down. So it is a tactic, isn't it? It sounds like... Because yeah, tearing up the railways that go through your entire nation has always sounded really stupid. This entire time. Like, obviously stupid. You want to have a rail network in your country. Obviously. And you would be more powerful for having a rail network between your 3 neighboring countries. That's good. You probably have freight and goods and so on, and that's good for you. So tearing it up is really weird, and I've always been kind of wondering about that. And it sounds like they did it out of spite, essentially. It sounds like, some spiteful international policies, like, say, some reckless tariff announcements. What a wild choice to make. So it sounds like they were doing it to spite Araya, or Araja, because they were harboring fugitives of the ex-government, and they actively harm themselves in the process. It's noteworthy because we know that this country also doesn't have Zeppelins. Because when he got back, our uncle was like, wow, Zeppelins are so much better than all that other travel. And it's like, that was from one of the other kingdoms. He came here via air travel. But like, this place doesn't have air travel, and it also doesn't have railways. I think it just might suck to be here. Hello. That's interesting. So there were more clues eventually for this stuff to be unpacked. I definitely don't feel that bad about, like, throwing my whole ass at that puzzle and just trying to get it solved all in one go, even if it meant a couple of moments where I had to just kind of, like, whiff it a little bit and just hope for the best and kind of, like, be like, well, one of these has to work. Because, blindly searching for 30 more hours for these little hints would have been a bit rough. But it's good to know that they exist, so you can document them, and you can, I had enough information to reasonably get the whole sequence done, but these are more little hints that would have helped, basically. And this stands out enough that you're just like, you see this and you're like, what the fuck is that? It doesn't even read as a sigil, but it stands out as weird enough that you would screenshot it or write it down or something, just in case. And this is really helpful. It's like, okay, the one that has this, this symbol, I think it's a raya, right? They have rain and culture, basically. I think this is the one that I had to, like, guess at a little bit. I knew that I got rain from the postage stamp. Yeah. Anything else in here? Oh, a key. This is probably another one around here. Please. Okay. Just the one document. For a second there, I thought the banners were gonna, like, spell something. Any weird small writing on this thing? I don't think I see any. Where does the other cabinet key go? It might be underground. I'll check the mine guy's room, the miner room, and I'll also check the big underground warehouse type spot. Can't even get over there, can I? Because those are the other places I know that have filing cabinets. I'm gonna double check whether or not I've screenshotted these yet, just in case, and then I'm also gonna go ahead and document the other ones too, so I can have them all in my folder, because I'm just obsessively collecting documents at this point. Okay, so the thing I said about using multiple drawers in the same filing cabinet. Hey, it's the other one. Hello. Oh fuck, it's an upgrade disc actually. That's good. Okay. What's that? Certificate of birth. East Reddington Hospital, certificate of birth. Mary Matthew Epson. Was born to Lady Clara Epson and Simon H. Sinclair in this hospital at 4:05 a.m. Tuesday, the 22nd day of January of the 6th era, 1958. In witness whereof, East Reddington Hospital certifies that the information above is true, as verified by its duly authorized officer of the Fen Areas Registrar of Persons, Lily Recian Rose and Sarah Trivian. Add that to my screenshot folder real quick. I've been calling them Archives Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, and then numbering the pages, but this one's just one page. That is a whole ass birth certificate. What was the timing of the birth? On the wrong page. Okay, yeah. The birth of the baby news was on December 9th, 1924. This is 1958, so they're not revealing that. It was worth checking. I don't have a great memory for numbers, and the fact that they're like, here's a birth. Oh, and the next row is another secret birth. Ooh, it's like, wait. Are they the baby? Are they the baby all along? But no, it's not. They're off by like 30 years. Enough that it could be the parent. Lady Clara Epson. We already have other fake names throughout this thing. Like our own mother has, yeah, Mary Epson. Our own mother has pseudonyms and so on. So it could be that maybe Caitlin Ja'ari and Lady Clara Epson are the same person, maybe? That might be where they're going with it, just because I'm kind of fishing for this to mean something, and so that could be what goes on. Yeah. I've got it documented either way. Because, yeah, it's long enough later for that to be the next generation. Mary Matthew Epson birth certificate. East Reddington. Just trying to think of, like, what am I specifically meant to draw from this? First of all, is it authentic or is it forged? Because they forged documents. We're familiar with that. Well, that's where both the cabinet doors go. I now have an upgrade disc, so that's exciting. I guess we'll just go back to building our building now. So, locksmith or blind play? I don't expect to accomplish my goal right now of getting 400 gold, because it's not going great. So let's go grab all the free... Not free. We'll spend some money on some keys, which almost sets me back to the money I started with this run, honestly. Just has not been a good run for money. And that'll help us hopefully finish the layout. Because that could give me the chance to maybe craft the item I want. The struggle here is now I don't know what the archive floor plans are, so I don't know what I'm placing half the time. Because when my goal here is to try to make the super wallet, and I don't know if that's going to be possible. So that sucks. But I know that these aren't what I'm going for necessarily. And dice are significantly less helpful now because I don't even know what the other item is I'm drawing. Okay. This is a terrible spawn for the boiler room. It does have some holes, though. A turnip. Turnip for what? Okay, so 5 rooms remaining. I might get a perfect layout. It's actually not. It's not that likely, actually, because I can't see what I'm drawing. But maybe I'll do that for funsies. Tee-hee. At least I get to catch this in. We love upgrade discs. That's the fun thing about the lore upgrades, is that you often... What? I've already upgraded this one. What? There's 3 layers of upgrade to the green version of the room? That is interesting. I mean, it was the obviously unfinished room, so the fact that it gets upgraded to a new category of room is pretty interesting. It was... I didn't really articulate that for shit. What I mean is that it was defined by its space as being an opportunity. Its unfulfilled... it was defined by its unfulfilled potential. It was a big blank room that was slightly starting to get painted. So the upgrade had it more painted in a specific color, and now this one goes even harder in that direction. Greater chance of finding items in green rooms. Green rooms do not cost things to draft. Spread things... Oh, so you get 3 different... You can pick each of the 3 green rooms and make it your overall thing. That's pretty good. I think I want to go spare veranda. it's tempting to do green rooms do not cost gems to craft because I value that and want it, generally speaking, but I don't even place the terrace anymore, honestly. Gems just aren't that hard to get anymore, so making the green rooms free just isn't that big of a ask anymore. I would like to slash the cost off of Arena, because that's the most expensive one, but overall not that big of a deal. And this is a pretty common room, so having it be a spread wouldn't be that helpful because I'll probably draw this before I get the chance to have enough green rooms to spread to. Whereas, like, the spare veranda makes sense because it's one that you do before the beginning. It's good to place at the beginning of your run because then all of the green rooms you will then place are more likely to have items. Having it stacked with the veranda, which might work, would hopefully mean even more items overall. And the green rooms could just be a great way of drawing items in general, I would hope. Oof. Okay, so the laboratory should be useless to me. I don't know what this one is. That's a struggle. Walk-in closet could be good. I got the regular closet, right? I think. Maybe, maybe not. Don't remember. But, walk-in closet added... Walk-in closet's one of the ones that specifically can have the rabbit's foot, too, I think. But it gives me a dead end where the gymnasium has to be my only way to continue, so it's a little bit scary. Telescope. And car keys? It's really mean when the game spawns car keys when they already know you don't have... well, no, I have 2 more spots. You might be able to put a garage there. I actually don't know. I feel like I've never spawned a garage up here. I feel like I've only ever spawned it in this middle 3. I feel like it has to be the middle of the west and not just the whole west. But I could be wrong. It just definitely feels that way. Let's make our way to the planetarium and see if this thing does anything, because I've been trying to do that this whole fucking time. And I get to accomplish 2 of my goals. That's cool. Where the fuck are we going? I believe I need to go all the way down south to the drawing room, then across to the foundation. We're doing okay on steps, so it's not a big deal. I also don't need to cache my steps at the end of the run because I specifically chose not to do that, so that's good. Because I haven't even had a kitchen. So I have not been able to add much to my steps, although I do have the... Where is the dining room? Didn't I have it? It's up here. So it's on my way rather than I'm going anyway, I think, so... I think I qualified for... The other was I gonna go down here? No, I was gonna try to do a filing cabinet down there, but we don't need to do that anymore because we now have ooh, the money. I was gonna save this for the thingy, but we're not gonna get it. At this point, even if I did get gems. Even if I did get the super purse, I would not get the chance to actually there's no universe where I reach 400 this run. Not like that. I guess through pure RNG, I could potentially draw my way all the way up into, the vault and the trove. I think even then it wouldn't work. Although if I had the super purse, then drew the vault and trove, that would be pretty good. In fact, if I can craft the super purse and then put it away, then when in a future run when I draw it, there's a decent chance I could reach the goal simply by having that in my inventory so it doubles all the money I make, and then place the vault and the treasure trove. And that would give me just so much money. I think we're pretty fucked this run because I think I don't even have the workshop yet. I think I drew it twice and didn't place it even though I knew I wanted it. I know. It was just so bad for the layout, but now I'm going to pay the consequences because I think I still don't have it. Don't think I see it anywhere. So yeah, for these 4 rooms, I would need to draw the workshop, something that gives me the rabbit's foot, and I'd have to draw the coat check in only 3 of the 4 tiles, which is just an astronomically low chance. Double checking real quick. I do have the coin purse, but I don't have... Yeah, I don't have the thingy. The good news is if I draw this room and it doesn't end me, then when I draw this room, when I go here, I might be able to use the secret garden key, which gives me the chance to be more likely to fill in all 4 slots. But I'm unlikely to find the rabbit's foot, and even if I do, it's basically impossible for me to craft and preserve the item I need. So this run is a wash for the purpose that I most thoroughly set out to do, but I did accomplish the... I did get both cabinet keys and spend them, so that's good. It does pop up. I fucking knew it. What the fuck? Cool cutscene. Do I click on it? Fen Mora, the Red Stone. Starting tomorrow, each planetarium will contain 1 apple. Wait. Starting tomorrow? Is this a permanent upgrade? Okay. That's more significant than I anticipated. I thought maybe it was like, if you take the telescope here, you double the stars it gets, or you get the stars right now without having to call it a day here. I was hoping for just some kind of correlation, because it's the other star room besides the observatory. That's wild. Okay. So I guess each of these 5 planets might represent a permanent upgrade that happens, and I need to bring the telescope here 5 times. It says it doesn't say tomorrow there will be an apple, which would be underwhelming. It says starting tomorrow there'll be an apple, which means there's an apple in every observatory every day starting tomorrow. That's 2 apples a day guaranteed if I want to do science experiments that reward me for apples. But it's also just like, just a step bonus. Just yet another roguelite upgrade that makes the game easier over time and lets you accomplish more and more. People get confused when I say that, and the reason why I take a moment to articulate the pronunciation of that specifically, it's just that, like, the point of roguelikes with a K is that they are random and always a hard reset on death, and there's no progression. So, roguelikes, as they have become popular these days, as far as I'm aware, aren't roguelikes, because they're more like Rogue Legacy and games like that, where you have and like Hades, where you get a series of upgrades over the course of your runs, and that does make each run easier over time. It feels like you're getting better at the game, and that you're learning more about the game, and those are true, but the game is also getting easier at the same time. So it's also, and the fact that it's just, you snowball like that and get stronger helps artificially create the feeling of getting better at the game in everyone more consistently, even if they might not be getting better at the game nearly as much as other players. Everyone will kind of get the same overall feeling. It's a little frustrating because if you genuinely value being good at the game is kind of cheating in that it's artificially hard at the beginning compared to later, and so your struggles early on aren't because of your lack of skill necessarily, but also just because the game is not really meant to let you win yet. But then there's a sliding scale where it keeps pushing you to succeed more and more the more you play it. That does apply to this game. This game is also doing that. I guess at this point, I'm not going to get to keep my items, so we're basically done with the run. I might as well do the Lost and Found and hope that it just doesn't take my coin purse, and then maybe it'll give me the rabbit's foot. Oh, but the workshop, I do need that. Yeah, I should craft the workshop. That's guaranteed. We don't know whether or not the... Hello, lockpick. Damn it, I should have... Ah, I'm a fool. I was at the locksmith and I should have bought the lockpick because it counts as a part of the pool of items, and a different item would have spawned here, because the workshop always spawns an item. That was counter to my goals. Whoops. Let's see here. Good. We want Secret Garden. That helps guarantee that I'll get the next room unlocked. Although maybe it was a bit unnecessary to spawn this at this point. Yeah, I'm probably not going to achieve my goal. Personally, I don't like roguelikes very much with a K, so I'm not, this isn't me being elitist or purist or whatever about it. I'm like, nah, it's like I'm not gatekeeping or whatever. It's just what the words mean as far as I can understand. I like ones that have progression over the ones that don't have progression because whenever I played a roguelike and then I got invested in a run for like an hour, then died, and then was sent back to the beginning, I then was like, alright, that's a glitch, by the way. You see that? There's a floating green thing right there, and the grass is down there. When you're right in it, it's not as apparent. You just look down and like, oh, there's green. No, you can still see it's pretty fucked up looking, yeah. And the grass is clipping through it. That's weird. I'm guessing I spawned it so high up here that it's just clipping through part of the environment. Ooh, that just made me think of something. Ooh, that'd be interesting. Huh. Probably can't. I want to spawn the secret garden and the garage. I want to spawn the secret garden south of the garage, then walk out of the garage door and then look to see what happens in the outside world, because this sticks out. And I wonder what that looks like. I think you mostly, even with the garage's back door and everything, you mostly can't walk around the building fully, because that would reveal how weird the layout is overall. Especially if you spawn the 46th room, and that just like makes the geometry change out there. A little curious. Pointless lever. I don't really feel like... I guess if I happen to unlock that path, maybe I'll try it, but I don't want to crank all the things to go this way. Yeah. Let's just spawn the conservatory. It gives me a chance to redraw. Maybe I should have... It's a corner room. I probably should have spammed the RNG, but it's just so unlikely that I'll draw the rabbit's foot at all, let alone a coat check to let me store it. But it will be very funny if this next door is me getting a coat check, and then it's like, oh, where's your rabbit's foot, buddy? You could have crafted it at the workshop you just had. It's fine. We should just be happy that I accomplished other things today. I've already edited all 3 of these rooms, I think, which is kind of annoying. I think I'm ready to make the library rare. We have already read every book in the library, and the library spawns the bookstore, which we also have bought every book from, and then read all of those in the library. I don't think we need the library. Its primary purpose right now would just be for me to screenshot my contraptions list so I can get an updated screenshot of all the recipes for convenience and aesthetic clarity. But as far as I know, since I've been screenshotting all the books, I don't think I need the library anymore, and it's just kind of bad to draw it most of the time because it's just a tilty hallway. We want rooms that branch, or we want rooms that dead end. We kind of just want the 2 extremes. We want rooms that have 3 or 4 doors, or we want rooms that give you a bunch of loot that are probably dead ends. And the furnace being rare is good, because fuck this room. So, not the most interesting draw, unfortunately. We overall want the kennel to be common. It's just a little hallway, so it kind of sucks on that level, but it does make it so that you are less likely to run out of keys. Because the shovel's not that uncommon, so if you can make it so that every time you dig in a room, the door's unlocked, that means a lot more situations where you just don't have to worry about keys at all. Watch the coat check spawn. Watch it. Watch it happen. Don't know what this one is. It's mysterious. As fun as it is to RNG the lost and found, I should probably just do the observatory. I can use the thing to trigger the effects in here twice and just get me more stars. Oh, this one's active. Right. I think the telescope is useless once that it's active. Because all it does is just... Yeah, doesn't do anything. I don't think we've been above 50 before. So I don't know what happens if you go past 50. I could go all the way down to the observatory to trigger all the effects of that one, but that seems pointless at this point because I'm not going to keep anything, unfortunately. No code check, no other mechanics. So I should just look around for a sleeping mechanic, which is probably going to be the planetarium, because I don't think I did... Yeah, I didn't play a dart game today. All we had was the tool shed today. I spent my cards, my keys. Yeah... Somewhat underwhelming outcome at the end, but I did accomplish 2 of my goals, and that's good to focus on. I successfully... where are we going? I successfully experimented with the telescope and turned out to be correct about thinking that it might be up to something, so that's cool. That's a dead end, whoops. God, this layout's hard to read. I wish that doors that actually connect were a little more highlighted on the map when you're trying to scan the whole thing. All the doors that look like they connect, but then they go into like a black wall or something, and it's like, oh, that's actually a solid black wall, not an incomplete black wall. Blah, blah, blah. Now we did the telescope thing, and we checked out the dig spots that we learned about yesterday at the aquarium. And those both amount to cool stuff. And now I want to get the telescope here even more. So now, this became a long-term goal, apparently, 'cause that, especially since, like, I'm unsatisfied. We got a permanent reward, it sounds like. But it was just an apple? There's probably something cooler up there, right? Look how big those planets are. This is the little one, the little red one, the red planet. Alright. Let's get back to it. This is such a just hang out, chill vibes, 300 hour playthrough. I'm astonished by how long this playthrough is. And I make it worse by just talking sometimes, but... Whoa. It's gonna be wild to realize I've recorded the last episode at one point and be like, that was an odyssey. 'Cause I was like spending most of my days on it for like 2 months. Will be how it feels by the end, I think. That's a full layout. Did it. Yeah! 18 dig spots. Archaeological castle. You're supposed to do the archaeology first, then the castle afterwards.